afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the CSLIP application workshop for Cycle 8, hosted by the Broward MPO. Today is July 26th, and it is 2:30 p.m. So we'll go ahead and get started. Do quick introductions between Fossil and myself. My name is Carrie McNeil, for those of you who don't know me. I run the CSLIP program at the Broward MPO.
And my name is Fossil Cresci. I'm one of the project managers here at the Broward MPO.
All right, and so today we're going to be going over a few different things for those of you who have attended a pre-application meeting recently, earlier this month. Some of this might be familiar to you, but we are going to jump into a application walkthrough. So that will be different from the pre-application meetings. We're going to go over how to fill out the CSLIP application online when it's made available to you all tomorrow morning. That portal will open. Let's see, and I think my video is still blinking a bit. Is it? No. Okay. All right. Just let me know if it starts going crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and bring up our agenda for this workshop. All right, are you able to see this? And we can see the workshop agenda.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so as you can see on the agenda, the first item is an overview of the CSLIP program. And then we'll go into an overview of the resources available on the CSLIP website, and then run through the list of the required documents. So we're going to be opening up that application checklist, and then Fossil will be doing a live demonstration, walking you through how to complete the LAP cost estimate form. And then after that, I'll go through a live application demonstration. Like I said, that application will be open through the portal tomorrow morning. It'll be live tomorrow morning, first thing, and it'll be open until October 2nd. So I'll just do a walkthrough of how to fill that out. It's what we use is survey 123. And so, like I said, some of you all have attended these before, so it should be pretty similar to last year. But we'll do a little refresher, and then after that, we'll have an opportunity for you all to answer or to ask questions. And then a couple of reminders down here at the bottom. So in order to submit an application for Cycle 8 for our CSLIP program, our policies state that your agency must have participated in a pre-application meeting with the MPO staff. So we just concluded those meetings yesterday. We had 25 of them, met with 25 local agencies this month. So yeah, we look forward to your applications. Again, that deadline is October 2nd at p.m. I'm going to stop sharing really quickly, and for my PowerPoint. There we go. Okay, can you see the presentation version of my screen?
See the presentation.
Okay, great. And all right. Okay, great. So again, CSLIP stands for Complete Streets and Other Localized Initiatives program. And our mission at the MPO is to collaboratively plan, prioritize, and fund the delivery of diverse transportation options. And the CSLIP program provides funding for small local transportation projects, which improve the safety and mobility for all transportation users in Broward County. So our annual process, it starts with application development. So we work with you all through the pre-application meetings, this application workshop, and then when the when the application portal is open, we also encourage you all to reach out to us with any questions, or if you want to talk to us about certain required documents, we encourage that as well. So really the application development can start much earlier than the pre-application meetings that we host. We encourage you to work with your community, work with your elected officials and your other staff members to develop that application prior to the pre-application meetings. And then the next step is application submission. So you all submit your project ideas through the portal. And after that deadline passes, we take a look at all of the applications we received, and we conduct an initial completeness check. And then if you submit a complete application, we move through to evaluate and rank the projects using our objective data-driven ranking tool. And then after that, we go through an initial vetting process with FDOT. And then once the projects are vetted, we move to programming. So however much funding we have for this cycle of CSLIP, we go down the list of ranked projects starting from the top, and we fund as many projects as we can from that ranked list. CSLIP is governed by a set of program policies that are approved by our MPO board. These policies, if you haven't taken a look at them recently, I encourage you to take a look before you submit your application, just to make sure you're meeting the eligibility criteria, making sure that you're within that dollar range that's eligible for funding through CSLIP, that you're only, submitting the right amount of applications, that you've met all of the requirements like involvement with public outreach, getting a resolution of support, who you need to get a resolution of support from, things like that. So the program policies, I'll show you in the next part of this presentation where they are posted on our website. And I will go ahead and bring up that CSLIP, the MPO staff brought some proposed changes to the program policies before our TAC and CAC, our Technical Advisory Committee and Citizens Advisory Committee, on June 28th. And then we got some feedback from both the TAC and the CAC and some recommendations. And then taking that feedback into account, we then brought the policy changes to our board on July 13th. And the board, they voted to approve the proposed policy changes with the condition that they will not take effect until cycle 9 of CSLIP. So again, those changes were approved, but they will not take effect until cycle 9. So for cycle 8, the program policies that are posted on the website currently are the policies that we're going to use. And then if you'd like to view the list of approved changes, and you can visit the agendas and minutes page on the MPO website, and listed there under the July 13th board agenda is that action item number 2, the proposed changes to the CSLIP policies. And so you can view that that item and its associated attachments to see the PowerPoint, the marked up version of the changes in the program policies, and the clean version. All right, so every year when we get our project submitted, after we make sure that you've submitted a complete application, you've met all the required documents, we move to digitizing those projects, putting them in our ranking tool. So we've got, say a project that you submit with multiple segments that's, translated into line data in GIS. And then from there, for each of the criteria, we cast different size buffers around your project limits, and then those buffers will interact with different criteria, so different data sets, different layers that we have to represent the 6 different themes that are incorporated into our CSLIP ranking criteria, and each project will earn points based on that geo-based ranking tool. And then a score is produced, and a priority list of projects is then produced after that. And that is what we bring to our board for approval. So the goal is to go before our board in December of this year and bring that priority list of projects. So this is the priority list of projects from last year from cycle 7, just up on the screen, for example. And then after that, we go through the vetting process where we have a pre-review, and then we go into site visits with FDOT, a review of the site visit findings, coordination with different agencies, and then a vetting closeout. Just a reminder that there's 6 different funding programs listed in our 2045 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, or MTP, and one of those 6 is CSLIP. So you can see here that CSLIP has 20% of the funding, 20% of the funding allocated to CSLIP. So then, with that funding, like I said earlier, we go down the list of ranked or prioritized projects from this cycle, and we fund as many projects as we can. So, for example, we've got up here cycle 6, the projects that were programmed after we went through that vetting process. Projects that were programmed from cycle 6. So the top 3 were programmed, and we are, waiting to find out which projects will be programmed from cycle 7, and that should be, we're anticipating this fall. We should have that those results for you. All right. So as you all know, CSLIP projects are required to be delivered using the LAP process, local agency program process, and we do have just wanted to call out here that one of the policy changes that we had to our CSLIP program policies was just adding a policy that states that local agencies can use MTech to deliver their projects through LAP. So just wanted to remind everyone of that. And last reminder is that the submittal deadline for cycle 8 applications will be October 2nd at 5 p.m. And that is it from me. If you have any questions, we do have a Q&A that you can enter questions into, and we'll have a session after we go through that live demonstration where we can address your questions. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, it doesn't have to do with CSLIP, but there is going to be a Safe Streets and Roads for All solicitation webinar hosted tomorrow, July 27th at 1 p.m. And so you can scan this QR code on the screen to register, or you can go to the calendar of events on our Broward BMPO website, and the registration link is also posted there. Fossil, if you wanted to say anything about the Safe Streets and Roads for All, I invite you to. If not, I'll move on.
Sure, yeah. So if any of our partner cities would like to register just to find out the scope of services that we are looking for and soliciting for, feel free to join tomorrow. It will be myself and James Cromar from the Broward BMPO hosting it, and we're hoping to get some consultant interest and consultants from hopefully around the country and maybe internationally to hopefully provide a solid team and submit a RFQ. All right, Carrie, and then do you want me to go into the cost estimate?
Let's see, let me check. I'm gonna stop share. I'm gonna check my agenda here. All right, the next item on the agenda is to do an overview of the resources available on the CSLIP website. And then after we go through that, we'll move into the cost estimate demonstration. So, all right. Okay, so I'm just going to start on the Broward BMPO homepage. So if you were to go to browardbmpo.org, and then you were to click to get to the CSLIP webpage, you click on what we do. And then the second one down is funding programs. So go ahead and click on funding programs. And then on the left-hand menu on the left-hand side, click Complete Streets and Localized Initiatives Program here. And then for the resources, I would go down to application information. And those of you who attended our pre-application meetings, you're very familiar with this. But for those of you who are new to CSLIP, or didn't attend the pre-app meeting, I'm just going to do a quick overview of the resources on the web. So like I stated a few minutes ago, we've got the program policies posted here. If you click there, a new tab opens in your browser. And so these policies haven't changed. They were updated September 2021. And again, they won't change until the changes won't take effect until cycle 9. So as you can see, the project construction cost minimum per project is still 500,000 and the maximum is 3 million. So if you have any questions on those policies, please feel free to reach out, either today or as we have that portal open. We'd be happy to talk to you about them. All right. And then a copy of the application can be found here. When you click it, you're going to get a Word document. For me, it shows up on the bottom of my screen. So go ahead and click to open it. You can download it to your computer. And what we recommend is that you fill out this questionnaire as you're putting together your application. And that way, when you go to fill out the portal, you've got everything right here and you can just kind of copy paste and reference this document. So we'll go through the live version of this, but this is just a replication of what's in the Survey 123 questionnaire. What's going on with my Microsoft Word? I'm not exactly sure what, but all right. Okay, and then next is application checklist. So this is the same as last cycle. So that's going to be, let's see. There we go. And zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. But so it's going to have all your required documents, your project location map, existing and proposed typical section, detailed scope of the proposed project, map showing the right-of-way for the project. Please no BCTA screenshots. We're looking for a right-of-way map, a plat, or a survey to show the proof of ownership of the right-of-way and the width of the existing right-of-way. And just a quick reminder that the CSLIP program does not fund any acquisition of right-of-way. So everything that you're proposing in your project should be within the existing right-of-way. And then a resolution from the applicant's governing board approving the specific project. And then if your project is, say, for example, not owned, your project is on a corridor or facility that's not owned by the city, say it's a county-owned facility, something like that. Or if you're doing a partner application where you've got 2 different municipalities, you're going to want to also submit a resolution from that facility owner. And then a resolution of support from the responsible governing board confirming commitment to fund the project's O&M, and that could be combined with number 4 or 5. So you could have very well have one resolution that does it all from the city committing to the operation and maintenance. The city is the facility owner. And again, those resolutions of support. We'll go into the project, the template for the resolution of support in just a minute. But those, I will say, the resolutions of support in addition to committing to fund the project's O&M and just supporting the project, there's also a commitment to deliver the project via LAP. There's a commitment to cover any contingencies and any overages over the construction cap. All right, yep, and next up is that resolution language template. When you click on that, a new tab will open in your browser. And this is the same resolution template as last year. So updated January 2021, it's been the same since then. So like I said, we've got a commitment to delivering the project through LAB. We've got a commitment to fund fund upfront costs for design, construction, engineering inspection or CEI services and construction. And then that will be reimbursed as per the LAP agreement. Construction contingencies, verifying that it's constructed within the agency's right of way, and maintaining the project improvements after they're installed. So any questions on that, or if you want to, during this process, while you get your applications ready, if you'd like to submit a draft resolution language to me and to look over before it goes to your commission, I'd be happy to do so, just to make sure it meets the minimum requirements that we have here. All right, and then the cost estimate form, if you click here, you will get a zip folder. So if you click to open the zip folder, let me try and get the screen. You open another folder, and then you've got the LAP administered cost estimate, which is most likely the cost estimate template that you'll be using unless you're submitting a project that's on a state facility. There's the FDOT administered cost estimate template here as well. And then this document here is another FDOT form. It's the Transportation Alternatives Set Aside Funding Application. And I'll go ahead and pull that up really quickly. That's a 6-page PDF. And we are asking, this is the 3rd year that we are asking our local agencies to fill this out and submit it with their CSLIP application. So I think everyone's gotten the hang of it by now, but if you haven't applied in the past couple of years and you haven't filled out this form yet, if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I'll do my best to assist you. It's pretty straightforward, a lot of questions, asking for information that you are already entering into the CSLIP application. So you should have it readily available. Anywhere where it asks if something is attached. So for example, typical section drawings are attached, yes or no. If you're submitting them for the CSLIP application, which you should be anyways, you can just click yes, it's going to be attached. And then page 6 is that project cost estimate table. And just a reminder that to fill this out, and if you have any questions, please reach out. And it should be consistent with the overall cost estimate that you are submitting. All right, and then our evaluation chart is here on the website for your reference as well. If you click on it, a new tab will open in your browser. We've got the table shown in 2 different formats. The first page is this table format, like this horizontal format, and then we've got more vertical here where it's really the same information, just displayed in 2 different ways. So however you prefer to look at it, some people like to look at it in this format, and then some people like to look at it in this format. So if you have any questions about how we rank the projects and how the projects score points, any questions about the 6 different themes and the weighting, the scoring, please let me know. But again, this hasn't changed from the last cycle. So we use accessibility. We use data that's coming from data that are evaluating our projects in the categories of accessibility, safety, equity, mobility, economic vitality, and environmental stewardship. We've got the data sources down here as well. So if you want to take a look at that, we welcome you to. And then the last thing on the website is evaluation data. If you click here, you will get another zip folder with GIS data if you'd like to take a look at our data sets that we use in the tool. And then, of course, if there's any data sets by the time that we go to rank the projects in October, if any of those data sets that we use have been updated, if there's a newer data out there, we will swap it out with what we have. We don't collect any data for CSLIP, in-house. We're using publicly available data to us from sources like Broward County and things like that, Signal 4. And then just a quick reminder that this is where the video from last year is posted for the application workshop. After this workshop is finished today, we'll get the recording and we'll swap it out with this one on the website. So if you'd like to, come back and get a refresher in like a month or 2, and watch this video, this workshop again, this is where you can find it. It'll be on that application information page, and you can click to watch that YouTube video. So, all right. I think that I went through everything that I need to. I think we're ready to go into the walkthrough of the lab, filling out the lab process estimate form puzzle.
All right. Share my screen. I believe it's this one. Okay. Can you see my screen, Carrie?
Yes, I can.
All right, and you see the CSLIP screen, right? To your website?
Yes, I do.
All right, so as Carrie stated before, in order to get to the cost estimates, you're going to need the application information, and once you click on the cost estimate form, a folder will appear, and the folder is going to contain these 5 documents. One of them is a TA application, the set-aside application I Carrie stated before, but for cost estimate purposes, the one that you all are most likely going to be using is the lab administered cost estimate Excel sheet. Now, once you click on that, this is going to pop up. For this cost estimate template, there's some formulas that are already programmed into the cells. What you all will need to fill out as part of this is, first and foremost, is the project description at the top. Please list out your project, or if you're going to be submitting multiple cost estimates, for the same project for whatever reason, please fill out, what corridors those are going to be. Now, since this application does require FDOT pay items and pay item descriptions, we're going to go after we go through the spreadsheet of where you can get those pay items and those pay item descriptions. So then that way you all can do your quantities and your cost estimates. So in the first column is where you would input the pay item number. The second column is a pay item description. Now, there's some pay items which we talked about in the respective pre-application meetings that are FHWA participating and FHWA non-participating, which are going to have to be covered through local funds. For the items that are FHWA participating or non-participating, please place your quantities, the respective units related to those quantities, which can be found on FDOT's website, as well as engineer's cost estimate. For this application cycle, we're requesting that the local agency submit a inflated cost estimate. If the local agency is requesting reimbursement only for construction funds, then those cost estimates must be inflated out 6 years. If design funds are being requested and construction funds are going to be requested for reimbursement, if the project is awarded, the project would be awarded 6 years from now, but construction would not begin for 9 years from now. So that's the pay item cost that we're going to be requesting you all to fill out in the engineer's unit cost columns, both for FHWA participating and FHWA non-participating. Now, when you go down, as you fill out the cells with your respective pay items, this cell, the funds for construction phase and the local funds for construction will automatically fill in. The only thing you all will have to fill out is the preliminary engineering design cost estimate you're requesting for reimbursement for the FHWA participating side, as well as the CEI reimbursement that you're requesting. On the right side are the local funds, and if you all have FHWA non-participating items here, please show the respective design costs associated with those items, as well as any contingency that the local municipality would like to show that this is what they're going to be budgeting for any additional FHWA non-participating items that might come up in construction, as well as the CEI costs associated with the local funds for construction. or FHW non-participating items. If you all are not sure what instructions you should use for the design and CI reimbursements or non-reimbursements, please go to the bottom here. There's a design and CEI fee guide. These percentages are recommended percentages, and it's a percent of the total construction cost for that for FHW participating and non-participating costs. Now, once you fill all this out, this cell will show all the FHWA participating costs. This one will show the non-participating costs, including all phases. And this will get updated for construction. Now, at the bottom right-hand corner, this is where we tend to have a lot of comments. We're going to try to avoid it this cycle, hopefully. But at the top here, since these cost estimates do have to be signed and sealed, whoever is doing the cost estimate, whether it's a consultant or a local agency employee, please list your P number here, your name. Please sign here with your date, and please sign and seal. Please sign and seal this somewhere on the sheet. And whoever reviews the cost estimate, please fill out your information here. And whoever is the responsible charge for your local agency, please fill out your information here at the bottom. Now I'm going to back up on how you're going to determine your pay item numbers and your pay item descriptions, as well as your units, and if you need something for reference to fill out the unit costs. So going back to that folder, there are two internet shortcuts. One is the pay item cost history, and the other one is a pay item database. First, you're going to go to the pay item database, which is also called the design quantities and estimates. Now, once you go here, this is what's going to pop up. If you know your pay item costs, you can go to that directory here on the left. However, if you are not sure what the pay item is called, you can click on Master Pay Item List tab at the top here. You scroll down to description. For instance, if you want sidewalk, you can type in sidewalk here and click apply on your left. And all pay items will pop up that are related to sidewalks. For instance, if you want to look for a 4-inch concrete sidewalk, you can scroll down and you'll see, you're going to see it here, 522-1, concrete sidewalk and driveways 4 inches thick. This will give you the pay item number, the pay item description, as well as the unit for that pay item. Now, if you want more information related to that pay item, you click on the Basis of Estimates tab. And on the left side, you go down to 500 to 599. And you will scroll down to 522-1, which is what that pay item was. And here it is. So 522-1, concrete sidewalks and driveways. If you want more information on this, you can click this plus sign on your left, and a drop-down will come up. Now on this drop-down menu, you will see that there's a little bit more description based upon this pay item, such as this one. Back of sidewalk curb is included in the cost of sidewalk per specification. There's some more information if you're removing sidewalk, and for example, just going down here, it just gives you this information. Now, if you're trying to find the cost of this, or what FDOT uses for the cost, if you don't already have your own local agency cost for these pay items or these quantities, you can click on the pay item or the pay item cost history. Once you click on that, this page will pop up. If you're looking for a specific pay item, first you need to go to market area moving averages number 12. If you don't remember that, you can always click down here, and you'll see under 12 is Broward County. Just going back, so if you click on that and you go to market area average number 12 and go to PDF, you will find FDOT's cost or statewide cost estimates for Broward County for the time range that's listed up here. Now, if you wanted to look for 522 For the sidewalks, again, you can go to Control F, type in 522. And you'll see it's going to pop up here. So 522-1, this is for concrete sidewalk and driveways 4 inches thick. The number you're going to use is your big weighted average. So for this sidewalk, for every square yard, FDOT estimates in current day averages of $58.59. However, we're requesting you all to provide us inflated costs. So if you don't have a number to work off of, please use this cost and apply the appropriate inflation factor. There are instances where you might find a pay item that you might be using a pay item that has not been used in Broward County. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You just have to find it in another location. So for that, you can go up to the top and use the statewide moving averages. You can click PDF. It looks similar, but this will be the weighted average for all pay items, regardless if it's been used in Broward or not. And then those are the descriptions that you're going to be showing over here. And with that, that's the demonstration. If any of you have any questions, in between now and when you want to turn in your application, feel free to reach out to Carrie, and we can try to help you address any issues or any questions that you might have if anything comes up after this webinar. And with that, Carrie, I'm going to hand it off back to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. And just a reminder that you can type in, if not mistaken, sorry, they can type in questions now into the Q&A down at the bottom of the screen. But I think, yeah, if you don't have a question right now off the top of your head, like Fossil said, if throughout this process, these next few weeks, if you have any questions, you can reach out at any time. But just a reminder that those are that is available to you, that Q&A. All right, let's see. So I'm going to set up for the next on the agenda is the live demonstration of filling out that Survey 123 application. So just a second, I will get that up on the screen. Okay, so tomorrow, let's see if this works. Okay, can you see that application CSLIP Cycle 8 logo? Also, can you see the logo?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure it works. Okay, so I'm just going to toggle back to the CSLIP website. So tomorrow morning, when you go to the CSLIP webpage, actually, it's up here now. So this tab here on the left, CSLIP application, that's where you will click to go to the application portal. So again, that is a new page that's going to pop up on the left-hand menu underneath application information. So when you click to submit an application, this is what you'll first see. It's going to look familiar to the past few years, but you've got a few comments first that you should read through. Just will help make your experience a little smoother. So remember that any questions with the red asterisk are required, and they must be filled out before submitting. And then some of the questions have a limitation on text length. So we'll tell you if there's a character limit, it'll be noted. And then the application works best on Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. We do not recommend using Internet Explorer. And then, all right, I'm going to jump into the demonstration. We are going to just using a random made up project. So it's just an example. But so the first question is, have you met with BMPO staff for a pre-application meeting this year? So again, just a reminder that that is a requirement according to the policies, and it has to be an application, pre-application meeting from this year, from 2023. Okay, so if you were to click no, it's not going to let you move forward. But if you were to click yes, then it's going to populate with the next question, which says, have you reviewed the text above and all information available on the CSLIP website, including the program policies and list of required documentation posted on the application information page? Again, if you click no, it's not going to let you move forward, or it's going to recommend that you read this before moving forward. So we're going to click yes and move on to the next page. So page 2 begins with a request for your project name. So the project name, again, this is just a made up project. This is just an example. We're going to call it CSLIP bike lanes, and then we're going to click complete streets. So it's going to ask you to pick one of the 4 categories that best represents the project. So either compartmentalize into complete streets, safety and security, sustainability initiatives, or technology advancements. And then it asks for a brief description of the project, and there's a character limit of 200. So we're going to keep it pretty short and sweet, but you can see in the bottom right, it tells you how many you have left. And then select the agency that you're applying on behalf of. So I'm going to say it gives a choice to select any of the municipalities. And then if you, and also SFRTA, VCT, Broward County, public schools, and then other. So I'm just going to choose other and fill out the Broward CAFIDA. And it asks if you're going to be filling out multiple applications this year. So I'm going to say no. And then just a quick note that if you were to say yes, it's going to ask you if there's a prioritization of these applications. And that a quick reminder that any prioritization must be done via a resolution of support from your agency's governing body. So, so let's say that we did have a prioritization. We would click yes, if not, no, and then it lets you move on. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to click no to keep it simple. And then is this a joint application? No. If you were to click yes, it's going to ask you to list your partner agency. And then it's got a reminder that a resolution is required from that partner agency, and you'll have to provide that resolution from the partner agency. So if whoever is the project lead would be filling out this application on behalf of everyone. But it's just a reminder that you do need a resolution of support from your partner agency. So let's see, we're going to say no and move on. So we're on page 3 now, which is the applicant information page. So I'm going to enter in my name here. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm copy pasting. I've got my Word document of the question list open on one monitor. And then on the other monitor is the Survey123 application. So I'm just easily able to toggle back and forth, copy paste. And then will you be the main contact moving forward? Yes. If you do click no, there is going to be an opportunity to provide the main contact's name and email address. So say you're having maybe somebody like an administrative staff person help fill out this application, but they're not actually going to be the main point of contact for the project. This is where you could have them enter in that main point of contact's information. So I'm going to say that I am. And then I'm going to ask if you're aware that all of the projects submitted through CSLIP, if awarded and programmed, would need to be delivered through the local agency program. And you would click yes. If you click no, it gives you this nice red message, a reminder that it has to be delivered via LAP. And then is your agency interested in having the Metro Transportation Engineering and Construction Cooperative, or MTEC, manage the project if awarded? And you can click yes or no, and we just collect that data and share that information with our MTech team, just so they have a heads up. I'm going to click yes. All right. So now we're looking at page 4, the facility location and limits. Let's see, facility location. This is going to be an anonymous random location, and we're going to use point A to B. But you do have lots of room to write in. If it's a multi-segment project, this is where you could take the opportunity to share with us all the different segments of your project, because the map below, as you'll see in a second, does not allow you really to draw multiple segments. So this would be a good place here. And then obviously when you upload in the document upload section, when you upload your project location map, that's another place where you can show us all the locations of your project. So this is this map here is just for instructional purposes only. So it's the tool interface instructions. So this is kind of a preview of what you're going to see when you keep scrolling, and it's giving you it has a legend describing what all the different buttons do. So you can see that right here, the upper right hand corner, this represents the map gallery. So you can change like the base map if it's easier to see aerial or whatever you want to use. And then B is the lines. That's where you'll click to start drawing your line that represents your project. C is the display zoom. So you can zoom in and out here with the plus and minus buttons. Obviously this is kind of self-explanatory, but here you can type in where it says find address or place. You can type in an address and have it zoom right to it. D is the default map view, so it's kind of like a reset. And then E is find my location. I've actually never used that before, but that'd be interesting to test out how accurate that is. So I encourage you to if you want to try to hop to your location, if you're on your work computer, for example, in Coral Springs, and you want the map to zoom to Coral Springs, you can click E. And then F is enlarge map. So basically what we're going to do here, it gives a couple instructions of how to do this. I'm just going to do a live demonstration with you. I'm going to fill in, let's see. So I'm gonna, okay, so it's saying your browser is not showing your location. It cannot find my current location. So that's fine. I'm gonna click out of that. Again, here, this is where you can zoom in and out using the plus and minus. For me, it doesn't work if I scroll. So it says you have to click control scroll. So yeah, you can either click control on your keyboard and scroll, or you can use these plus minus buttons to toggle back and forth. So I'm going to go, out to sunrise, for example. And I'm going to draw an imaginary project. So I'm going to click on that line. Then I'm going to click once. And then I'm going to stretch, and I'm not holding the mouse, I'm not holding the right button down, I'm just dragging, and then I click again. And if I wanted to, I could keep going and keep, drawing different segments, click, and then move around, click, 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 or to finish, you just double click. So there's your segment. If you mess up, that's fine. You can delete it and start again, or you can edit on your existing line. So it's pretty user friendly. If you have any questions about it, let us know. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. All right, page 5 is the eligibility verification criteria. So we want to know the facility type. I'm going to click it's a road, but you do have the option to select greenway or other and tell us about it. And then it asks if your agency owns the facility for the full extent of this project. I'm going to say yes, but if I were to say no, it asks you to select the other owner. So that helps us a lot when we're looking at these, doing the completeness review of these applications. All right. Is the project able to be constructed within the constraints of the right-of-way? Just remind you in a note here that right-of-way acquisition is not permitted or eligible for funding through CSLIP. So I'm going to say yes. Is the applicant's agency prepared to fund the operations and maintenance associated with the project? yeah, I mean, if you say no, then you really shouldn't be moving forward with the project. So I'm hoping that everybody is going to select yes. And then it's just another reminder that you need to have the O&M commitment noted in your agency's resolution. All right, community support. So it's asking for a brief description of how community support for the project was gathered and evaluated, including consideration from Title VI and environmental justice populations. We also will ask for documentation of the public support in the document upload section, but this is where we ask for like a brief narrative. If you wanted to include a brief narrative to accompany the attachments that you submit, like meeting minutes or letters of support, something like that. And this is a new question from last year, but it's just asking for you to confirm that the local agency is satisfied with the public outreach that was conducted to notify the community and gather support. I'm going to say yes. I did not enter anything here. Okay, so that's actually a good example of how it'll stop you to make sure that if you didn't answer a required question, it forces you to go back and answer it so that you don't have any gaps in your application. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there and then move on. All right, so I'm just going to fill this out really quickly. This is the existing right-of-way. It's asking you the existing right-of-way width, the existing number of travel lanes, the proposed number of travel lanes, existing lane width, I'm going to say 12 feet, and then the proposed lane width is 11. Existing total roadway width. And then the proposed total roadway width. And the posted speed limit, let's say it's 35, and the design speed 35. And if it asks if there's proposed changes to the curb and gutter, I'm going to say no. All right, so and then this is the part where you can check off different scope elements. So any scope elements that are listed here that are going to be incorporated into your project, please check them off. You will have an opportunity to give a description very shortly in the application of what exactly is involved. Like, for example, if you click bike lanes or you know, ADA, it'll give you an opportunity to explain. So I'm just going to click off, check off bicycle lanes. And there's actually quite a long list here. So I'm just going to check one and see in this next page, this is where you have the opportunity to describe exactly what the improvements are under each of those scope elements. So for bike lanes, I'm just going to say widen existing roadway, yada yada. And again, it'll tell you how many characters you have left in the bottom right hand corner. All right, and then page 9 is the purpose and needs section. So it's going to ask you what problem this project is solving if installed. So I'm just going to put in an example here. So an example that we have in the notes here is that, oh, this project solves the problem of recent rapid growth in the western section of Broward County and the resulting traffic congestion on east-west facilities. So, and you have a pretty long character limit for this, 10,000. So you should have plenty of room. And then this one, the next one, also with the same character limit, it asks why this project would be the best solution. So we want to see that the city has put some thought into, you know, why this project is a good solution. You know, if you worked with a consultant, and please, you know, let us know, hey, we hired a consultant, they did a study, yada yada, or you know, we have a master plan, and this project was plucked from the master plan. So it was, you know, that process there has been thought out, and we're just pulling projects from there. Whatever you want to tell us. And the last one on this page is asking how the project fulfills the commitment 2045 goals and objectives. So commitment 2045 meaning our 2045 MTP, or Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So I'm going to put an explanation in there. And we are almost towards the end. We're on page 10 now. Page 10 is the project cost. It's a pretty short page. So it's asking the estimated total construction cost. So the sum of all costs in the cost estimate sheet. I'm going to say, and then estimated funds for construction, which is the sum of the pay items in the cost estimate sheet. And then the estimated annual operation and maintenance costs. Okay, last section, biggest section is the document upload page. So I'm gonna briefly go through these instructions before we get into uploading the documents. All file types are supported. There is a size limit of 10 megabytes per file. So in a quantity of 1 file per question. So I would recommend consolidating if you have multiple files, like say you have multiple maps. I would recommend consolidating like say you have 3 PDFs, consolidate them into one and upload that to the portal. If you have more than 1 file per question, we're just going to have to work together on to get that uploaded. But the easiest is just being able to do it all through this portal yourself. So again, you can use Adobe Acrobat to compress and merge the files or reduce the file size. If you don't have access to Adobe Acrobat software, there are online tools such as smallpdf.com that are free to use. And then after submitting the application, an email will be sent to both you and myself, the CSLIP Manager. If that file size exceeds 10 megabytes, or if you have more than 1 file to upload, please notify me and I will send you a link to a unique file transfer site. It'll most likely be OneDrive, and we'll send it to you. So, but please don't wait to the last minute to do that, because I hate for you not to, meet the deadline because I couldn't send you the link in time. So, basically what we're saying here is that please notify me at least 48 hours prior to the CSLIP application deadline, and then I'll have 24 hours to send the link to you so that you have that little bit of a buffer there. And yeah, we do not grant additional time to upload additional documents, and the deadline is as advertised. Another tip is that long file names may cause an error when you go to submit. So try to limit the length of the name of your file. And it's helpful if you name the files. If it's a project map, name it project map. If it's a resolution of support, name it resolution of support. Just so it's really clear. Because what happens is I get a download of all these files from the document upload, and then I go through them. So I can rename them if need be, but it's makes my job a lot easier if you all name them, the appropriate name. So, all right, let's jump into uploading the files. So what I'm going to do is on my left-hand monitor, I've got a folder open with all of the required documents already in there. So I encourage you all to do the same, to create a file on your computer, where you're going to save those required documents to, and then when you're ready to submit, you've just got it all there in one place, and you can drag and drop. It makes this application process a lot easier. So let's see. All right, so location map, you can, it says drop file here or select file. So I'm going to go ahead and click select, and then I'm going to go, let's see. Okay, so I'm here and I've got my folder with everything, and I've named it, 1 location map. Let's see. This isn't in order, but 5 applicant resolution, 6 blah blah blah. So I'm gonna just drag in. I'm just gonna drop these in. So number 1, location map. There it is. So it's telling me it's a PDF, 79.1 kilobytes, and if you make a mistake, there's an option to delete it. And then I believe, yeah, this is the rename button. So you can even rename it here if you don't want to rename it in your file on your computer. And then existing proposed typical sections. Typicals. All right. Detailed scope for the proposed project. And again, on this red asterisk, that's if anything that's absolutely required. You're going to see that red asterisk. So there are some documents in this section that are, if applicable, they're not necessarily a requirement, and they will not have that red asterisk next to it. So detailed scope for the proposed project. There we go. Map, denoting the right of way. Right of way documents, and again, we're looking for a right of way map, survey map, or plat map, not BCPA printouts. You can submit BCPA printouts as, supplemental to that document if it helps kind of, get a better picture. Or if you want to have a BCPA map and like as your project location map and like draw a line on it, that's fine. But we are looking for one of these documents to verify the right of way ownership and the right of way dimensions. So. All right, resolution from the applicant's governing board. So this okay, so I'm going to upload let's see, applicant resolution. So I've got, say I am a city that only really needs one resolution of support. What you can do is upload that same resolution of support for the next two questions, because you're basically what you're doing is saying that, hey, this resolution of support covers everything. It ticks all the boxes. I don't need multiple resolutions. And the reason why we're asking you to do that is because there's a red asterisk next to these next two questions, because they are required. And there are people who do submit multiple resolutions of support. So again, you could just click that and then upload the same resolution of support again for these. All right, and then detailed public support. So we're looking for examples or copies of public outreach flyers, mailers, e-blasts, meeting minutes, letters of support from HOAs, for example, maybe a copy of the presentation that was given at a public outreach meeting. So public support, there we go. And then completed FDOT cost estimate form. Just a reminder that this should be signed by a professional engineer. And then this is where you upload the FDOT TA funding application, or the Transportation Alternatives Set Aside Program funding application. It just gives you also a reminder of where you can find that form if you forgot to fill it out on this, last opportunity to fill that out. So let's see, I'm going to drop it here. Okay, and then now we're getting into the ones that are not necessarily always required. These are, if applicable. So paid from a local plan or program that references the project, you may or may not have this. And then provide any supporting data and technical analysis referencing the purpose and need. Example, if you have a part of your project scope is a lane elimination or a lane reduction, you would have needed to have a traffic study conducted, and then you would upload that traffic study here. And then let's see, okay, we got these in. And if the project is part of a Broward MPO endorsed corridor study, upload the page where the project is referenced. Just a reminder that this would, if you upload it, earn your project some bonus points if it's identified in the MPO plan. I'm going to pretend that I have that, and I'll upload it. And then the last one is, if the project is adjacent to any upcoming or currently underway projects, then provide available documentation verifying those adjacent projects. Again, it's not required, but if you have that information, it's helpful to us to see that and kind of understand like the full context of the area, understand the background, and get the full picture. So pretend that I have that to upload, and that's it. So, you can just do a double check, scroll up, make sure that nothing is red, you didn't forget anything. And then when you verify that you uploaded everything you need, go ahead and click next. And then it's saying it says by selecting agree below, you are stating that you have filled out this application to the best of your abilities using the most accurate information available to you. If you select decline, your application may become ineligible for programming through the CSLIP program. So if you want your application to move forward, click agree. And then when you press submit, you should, if you get an error, let me know, call me. So this says, do not close out of the application and do not click the submit button multiple times. So click it once. If you get an error message, call me or email me and I'll look into it. Or I'll reach out to Juan, who can probably assist better than me. But yeah, and then if you have any complaints, questions, or concerns about civil rights or non-discrimination or special requests under ADA, contact Carl. His information is here. So I'm going to click submit. And it's, it shows how it's uploading the different things. So I'll give it a minute. Oh, and it said failed to submit, show details, unknown error. Okay, well, I got an error. So then I would reach out to me so that, and again, don't click it again, don't X out, just in case, we don't want to lose your information. So that's interesting that I got the error, but otherwise, I'm not really sure what went wrong, but that's pretty much it. That's the application. It'll be live. This is a beta version to use for purposes of this demonstration. That could be why it didn't work when I submitted it. But tomorrow it'll be live first thing in the morning. Again, on the CSLIP webpage, go to the CSLIP application information tab, and this will be updated with the new link and the new button. So that's it. I think it's time to move into Q&A. So I'll go ahead and mute myself and I'll see if we have any questions. Again, please feel free to type in your questions into the Q&A chat, or I believe you can raise your hand as well. I'll give it about 2 minutes, a minute or two, just if in case someone's typing, I don't want to cut you off too soon. So I'll give it a minute or two before we end the webinar. And Fossil, if there's anything you want to add while we wait for any questions to roll in, please feel free to add anything that maybe I forgot to go over or something that you noticed in the application while we were going through it.
Yeah, just as a reminder, for the application doesn't save. So if you begin filling it out, please fill it out in its entirety. If you close out of your web browser, your web browser refreshes, you will lose all of your progress. So we would request, take advantage of the application outline that's available on the website and fill it out first, as Carrie stated, so you can quickly go in and copy and paste all the information.
Great, thank you. And we have one question. It says, if a project involves more than one funding source or items known to be ineligible, how are these sources / items to be included or not included in the application? So I'll let you answer that, Fossil, because I know this has to do with filling out that cost estimate sheet. So I'll let you go ahead and just answer that question about how to show that in the cost estimate sheet.
Yeah, so on the cost estimate sheet, actually I can just share my screen again. All right, Carrie, are you able to see the cost estimate sheet on my screen?
Yes.
All right. So if you have other projects that are going to be completing some of the improvements as part of this project through other funding sources, please place those quantities here underneath the FHWA non-participating section. So this, for whatever pay item it is, or if it doesn't have a pay item, you can use XXX. If it's something that's not generally used for FDOT projects, but you will fill out this column, and then begin filling out the FHWA non-participating side. If there are funds, the more information you put in the application regarding, for instance, underneath the scope, please place any additional information if there's other funding sources that are going to be used to fund those other improvements. That's something that will be helpful. The more information you provide as part of your application, the better it is for us. It's to do the review and the vetting on our behalf. Right, Carrie, anything else?
I don't see, well, as far as this question goes, I would say, you know, in addition to including that information about the ineligible items or non-eligible items in your cost estimate sheet, I would also recommend that you mention it in your scope of work, your detailed scope document that you submit. Just mention, you know, hey, there's going to be some items that the city is going to cover, that are not going to be included as participating items. We're not going to ask for reimbursement for. I think that's really it, though. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. I think there were a couple of questions earlier that you addressed, Fazil, directly in the chat, directly to the person asking the question. So thank you for that. But yeah, I don't. We'll keep this on again. We'll keep it on for a couple more minutes until, let's say, 3:45. It's 3:43. We'll keep the webinar live until 3:45, and then we'll end it. So last opportunity for questions. And we also have representatives from FDOT and MTech here if you have any questions for them.